Hey witches, so I just finished chanting to Lakshmi. I believe I'm on day 32. Not exactly sure. I'm doing 40 days of chanting to her, and I wanted to explain and show you my altar and just kind of what I've been doing. Um, and I'm chanting to her for 40 days so that I can kind of get the energy going around her. I felt a really strong call to work with her, and so much good stuff has happened. Like, I got the best paying job I've ever gotten since I started working with her. New things started coming into my life. People are gifting me a lot of things. A lot of things from India have actually come into my life. And I came to her for advice for prosperity financially, but I soon realized she started giving me teachings about security in general. So not just financial security, but security in my love life and in myself and in my sense of home and in my debts. All these things started to come up. So she's really taught me a lot about keeping grace and being mindful. And it's just really interesting because I am a very Aries person. I have a lot of Aries in my chart, and also a lot of Pisces, and I can be very sporadic and extreme in my thought processes. And sitting down and meditating and chanting, and the chant that I've been doing is Om Shri Maha Lakshmi Swaha. Doing that, I often want it to be something, or I have an expectation of how the meditation is going to go, and now that I've done it so many times, like 30 something times, and I've actually done this chant before, I'm noticing how every time I do it, it's different. Like every day's different, and I'm showing up to the same practice no matter what. Sometimes I show up really tired. Sometimes I have to get out of bed because I forgot to do it and do it in the middle of the night. I've brought friends to do it with me. I brought my lover to do it with me. I've just seen this chant through a lot of different phases every day now. And there's been times where I didn't have much. And there's been times where I had a lot. And it just feels really great, I guess, to say that I've returned to it, and not because of anything other than just it's a new experience, it's a good experience, and it's overall brought so much to me in my life. And Lakshmi is just such a beautiful entity that graces the people that she works with, and I can so feel her in so many different ways. Like, I've heard her voice on some chants, I've heard her laugh on some chants, I've felt her presence, I've felt her teachings come through in other ways and reveal things to me. I've chanted with my eyes open, with my eyes closed. I've just tried it in all different forms now, in all these different forms now. And I feel that the main teaching I've received from her is just to be graceful and to be temperate, like to stay balanced and not go too far in any extreme, or not start freaking out, or not start to move around too much. Like, it's like you can have some movement and then you come back to stillness. And she's a very loving, compassionate, graceful, dignified leader and teacher and feminine force. And she teaches, the validity of having beauty and luxury, but also having stillness and grace and kindness and humility. So that's just what I've gotten from her. So I'll show you my altar now. And if anyone has any questions or anything like that, feel free to leave a comment. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to subscribe. I don't know if I'm going to put this out on YouTube. Might go on Instagram. Who knows? But yeah, support always helps. Here's the altar. So this is my little Lakshmi altar. I just got done chanting, and I wanted to show you guys how it's looking. I used to have the part of fortune, which is this symbol here, with these crystals over here, but I changed it to a heart. I just felt called to do that. When I first started working with Lakshmi, I made a photo of her and Krishna that I found on the internet, and I just redrew it because I felt like I needed to, and I wrote some stuff on there that I wanted to manifest. And I folded it, but I heard that Lakshmi won't really stick around if you don't have something with Krishna, since that's her lover. And then I was actually cleaning out my storage unit, which was kind of a prosperous choice because it saves me money, obviously. And this card was just unmarked in my storage, and it's a photo of Lakshmi, and I thought that that was very auspicious and cool. I also included a prosperity sacred geometry art piece over there. That was a protection candle, this square, but it burned out, but I kept it there. I also had another money candle, but I filled it with some offerings after that one was done. As you can see, I have other offerings like dates, and I replace these every few days. I also replaced the candles. There's been times where I let the candles burn all the way, and then there's also been times as I've gotten deeper into the practice and into the amount of days I've done it in a row, I just blow the candles out when I'm done now. This candle, however, has been with me from the start. And wow, it started sending up smoke when I said that. That was really cool. And that's a money candle. And I've just tried to correspond the colors of the candles with things that have to do with prosperity or with Lakshmi. So I have all those things on my altar right now. All of the crystals are kind of colors that reminded me of Lakshmi. I have a very old tarot card over there that has been through a lot of spell work with me that represents a lot to me. And on top of it, I have an aura rose quartz point. Back there, I have a golden $100 bill, and behind there, there's a silver one, but you can't see it. And then I also have jasmine oil, which I anoint the photos and the candles with pretty frequently. And I also, every time I chant, which is every day for the past 30-ish days, I don't know exactly what number I'm on. I just have it the day that I stop in my calendar. But I anoint my mala beads, which, for people who don't know, mala beads are a 108 set of beads. And it helps you keep track of how many times you've chanted. So I learned in Kundalini yoga to do this, and 108 in high magic, sorry, excuse me, is the number of Saturn and Saturn concentration. And I'm sure there's tons and tons of teachings, but 108 is just a very potent number. And when I say it's the number of Saturn, Saturn is kind of a time-based planet. There are many magical, I guess, like formulas and equations that say that that force kind of constricts things to manifest, such as like a womb would constrict a child through the birth canal and give it life. Saturn can do that too. So chanting something 108 times kind of brings it here to the material plane, if you ask me. Also, I also found some henna when I started doing the Lakshmi chant, so you can see I colored on myself with the henna. Another really cool thing was someone gifted me, a dear friend gifted me her sheepskin that she took with her to India, along with some microdoses. It was just really interesting. A lot of stuff from India started to come to me when I was doing this chant. Which is nice to be received by a goddess that is not of my, I'm a white girl, so it's cool to feel received and to feel welcomed into her practice and into her culture, and to learn from her and to learn from Indian people. But anyway, with that being said, I also put some other crystals, as you can see. I have elephant statues. I have a crystal, that red jasper is from India, that a friend gifted me. I had roses. Her flower is a lotus, but I felt called to just give her some roses too. And then I have Ganesha there, some pyrite back there. So anything that just symbolizes prosperity or money or any of those things were all things I wanted to include. And then I actually cleared my whole altar shelf and just included things, and now it's been kind of building up again, but at first it was very bare. And I just had a few things that kind of symbolized, you know, my magical practice or prosperity around it, because Lakshmi really likes clean places. And I also make sure that when I'm chanting that my yurt is really clean. What's really interesting though is her cards started coming up in different decks when I started to work with her. So Kamala Devi is in the Kali Oracle. Where is that thing? It must be up there. And she is the kind of iteration of Lakshmi in that deck, and she was the very first card I actually pulled from that deck, which is really cool. I asked Lakshmi permission to keep Yamaya on the altar, and she said yes, so I keep all of Yamaya's stuff back here. And it was funny though, because I work very closely with Ishtar or the Morrigan, and I keep her altar separate. But I also put some tarot cards that I wanted, just, you know, that kind of gave me that same feeling that I get when I work with Lakshmi. The Lovers, Six of Wands, the Empress, there's the henna that I was talking about. I put the part of Fortune, the Queen. But yeah, Lakshmi has been accompanying me a ton. So I hope you guys enjoyed this brief little depiction that I wanted to share of just my altar and my practice with Lakshmi. I was hesitant on doing this video because I wanted to be very careful about appropriating Indian culture, but this is just what I do and how I work with her and how I feel connected to her, and I love the practices, so I wanted to just share it. I felt a really strong call tonight chanting to do that. So if anyone wants to share how they work with her, I'd love to hear down below in the comments. And I know this is a super informal video, but I wanted it to not just to be casual and just to be, you know, connective for me and you. So anyway, I hope you like this video. Make sure to leave a comment, like, share, you know,